That out of the way. All right. Welcome everybody, or like nobody,
It's all good.
to episode 4 of Cover to Cover.
Wow.
We are going to be talking about Morrissey's third album, Your Arsenal. And I want to introduce my co-host, fresh from a nice trip up to my neck of the woods.
Yep.
Hialeah Comic Bro.
What is
How
up,
you doing, man?
What is up, man? Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great time. Yeah, dude, I drove up to Long Island, so we had that nice 21-hour trek from Miami up there, and it was good. Never done a road trip before, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
No issues.
Yeah,
It was cool.
That's good. Good. Yeah, so you never want any issues on a 2 or 3 hour trip, let alone a 21-hour.
Yeah, dude. We traffic was good. We saw one accident. Well, we saw an accident, and luckily it didn't really affect us too bad. But yeah, it was pretty smooth all the way, man. Pretty light traffic for the most part.
Yeah.
No complaints. No complaints.
I didn't. My brother and sister-in-law came up from South Carolina, and I didn't get a chance to ask them how traffic was for them, but they drove his. He's got a big Ram, and they drove that up.
Nice. They went up in style.
Yeah.
South Carolina is beautiful, though. We stayed overnight in North Carolina, almost right on the Virginia border, but we drove through South Carolina. Man, it's nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's real beautiful.
It's very nice where they live. They live down around Charleston.
Okay.
And he works at a resort on Hialeah Island.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. She's in some kind of advertising, magazine advertising or something. I can't remember what it was. The far cry. She when they lived up here, she was a teacher.
Oh wow! From teaching to advertising.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
have you gone down there? The one thing we stayed in North Carolina. I don't know about South Carolina, but we went to a barbecue place. Man, I did not like their barbecue. It's that vinegar, the vinegar-based barbecue. Man, was not my favorite. Me and my wife, we were like, wow. It's a lot different.
Yeah.
Have you tried that? Have you tried the barbecue down there?
Not down there, no. I know there's a few franchise places down there. I forget what that one is called down there, but it's kind of an awful name.
We did go to one. It was called Smithfield's, and the local we asked the guy at the hotel, and he was like, "Yeah, there's barbecue everywhere, but that's probably the best one." And the place was packed, but man, we were not for us, not our type of barbecue, man. Trying not to offend anybody, but
yeah, different strokes for different folks, right?
Exactly, different strokes for different folks.
Oh. All right, Your Arsenal.
Speaking of that, this selection came about because you posted something on Instagram, didn't you? Of Morrissey or you put something out. I think I commented. Wasn't that?
Yeah. I believe it was a Smiths album. I did a reel. It was the first reel I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that was a Smiths song.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a gray area between Smiths and Morrissey because he was like the main component for the Smiths. But
I was surprised when you put that up. I did not figure you for a Smiths fan. I was kind of like, wow. That kind of took me a little off. and I had to comment because I do like him. Nice.
I have his first 3 albums.
Nice.
And I don't have any of the. No, I take that back. I have Meet His Murder on digital. Mm-hmm. That was lent to me from a friend. Actually, my brother-in-law gave me that. And I have Louder Than Bombs, okay. Which is kind of a compilation / singles thing. I guess it's not technically placed as one of their regular studio albums, so it's more of a compilation.
Because they only had 4 studio albums, and it's all like what I have. I don't have any of their studio albums. I have the greatest hits. I think 1 and 2. Those are the 2 that I have.
Okay.
That's how I got into the Smiths. I was a super late to the party on the Smiths. I didn't get into them until I'll tell you how I got into them. I used to go to the clubs. I used to love the clubs, and we used to go to like industrial clubs, progressive clubs, goth clubs, and they would play that one song, "How Soon Is Now," and I never knew. I knew I loved the song, didn't know who sang it, didn't know the name of the song until I finally, back then you couldn't just look things up. It was a lot of word of mouth, and someone told me. I went right out, bought the Greatest Hits album, and that's how I found out about the Smiths. But I was a super late bloomer to the Smiths. Totally missed the boat. I was more Depeche Mode and New Order and stuff like that. I was surprised. I'm surprised you like the Smiths and Morrissey. I'm didn't peg.
Well, I don't want to say that happened by accident, but like I said, my brother-in-law is a big Smiths fan. Mm-hmm. Him and I were talking about it earlier. Mm-hmm. And he said he never really got into Morrissey solo stuff. Mm-hmm. Viva Hate is the only one he's heard.
Right.
But he was big into the Smiths, London Suede, other bands like that. The Cars, super big into the Cars. Him and I have had multiple conversations about a lot of these bands. There was him and my good friend William, I worked with him at McDonald's, and he was the manager, and we just started talking about music one night. I always carried my boombox in because I was overnight maintenance. So after they closed and everybody went home, I was there by myself just cranking the music.
Yeah.
And him and I would talk about metal and stuff, and we just started hanging out, through the bars or whatever, playing poker. Really? And he started getting me into these other bands like Helmet, and then he introduced me to the Smiths. And so he introduced me to the Smiths, and then when my sister started dating Rob, I found out he was big into the Smiths, and I was like, oh geez, here's another influence, So kind of a happy accident, we'll say.
Yeah.
Because metalhead background,
Exactly.
And my buddy James had, when I started listening to these other bands, he was like, I get it. He says, I get it, but I don't get the music. He says, I get it though. He says, you're the type of person that would expand,
Right.
And then when he got married, we got to talking. He was telling me how he started expanding a little bit. He started getting heavy into the blues, and this was the guy that was in several death metal bands.
Yeah.
And hardcore Slayer fan. But
you gotta expand. You just have to.
Yeah.
You just have to.
It can't be one genre all
no, man. No. What is it?
No, when there's so much good stuff out there.
Exactly. And
I mean, look at Brad Paisley. Even, I mean, he's a country guitarist. I mean, awesome guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a metalhead. Deep down.
You have to, man. You just cannot be stuck in one job. You gotta get the influence from everything else, man. You do. Right. It's what's that saying? Is the spice of life? What's the? But I'm missing the first word in that saying. Diversity? No, not diversity. Oh my God! It's that saying.
Yeah.
I can't get the word, man. I can't get the word. But I honest, dude, I was shocked, man. And then when you asked me, let's do a pick a Smith's album, I was like, and I said the Queen is dead. But honest to God, I've never listened to their albums. I've listened to all their singles. Yeah. So I was like, man, you know what? I don't feel these albums. I just don't. I know the songs, but I never listened to them that way because I would buy the singles albums.
Right.
So then I was thinking, you know what? An album that did mean something to me is Your Arsenal. You know, I was really, when this album came out, I listened to it for months. It was like the soundtrack of 1992 for me. It really was.
That's why when you messaged me and said, "Hey, can we change it?" And when you said Your Arsenal, I thought there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason that he wants to do this album instead.
The thing about it, man, it was 1992. I was, I think, 23, and I was still finding my way, man. And I was banging into walls to find my way and having girl problems and going through that. And I was in a dark place, bro.
Yeah.
And
I know exactly what you mean.
I found this album, dude, and I was just listen to it. And sometimes when you're in a dark place, you just want to get a little darker. I don't know. You know, you don't look for the sunshine. You look for more dark. And there's a couple of songs on here that, bro, I just felt like they were talking to me, man. It was like, this is where I'm at. I got to snap out of it, but I love this. You know, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Other people are going through this, and I just got to find my way out of it. And luckily I did, man. But yeah, I was not in a good place in 1992. I was just, like I said, just banging my head against walls, trying to see what was going to work, you know?
Right.
And this was like a soundtrack.
That's why I think I made the connection in a similar way, because I was kind of in the same situation, not just kind of languishing, you know, and like you said, a little bit more dark.
Yeah.
And I was introduced to this stuff at the correct time, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
In my life. So, you know, I'd been through the adult transition, listening to metal and just rocking out, being in college, just, you know, doing whatever. And then I head into my senior year and I'm realizing that the freaking real world is going to be smashing me in the face pretty soon. Well,
when this, I think I was living in my first apartment. I was living alone, and I was going through a ton of shit. I was drinking way too much. I was smoking way too much. I was just it was work and party. And then it sounds like fun, but dude, things start happening and it gets complicated really fast. And you're like, what's going on, dude? I need this can't last. And so I'm telling you, it's like you said, this album came at the right time.
Yeah.
It almost I don't know, it just calmed me. And listening back on it, because I've been listening to it all week, and it's like it's a rockin' album. He rocks on a few of these, man. It's rockabilly. Yeah. There's rockabilly in this. There's glam rock in this, and then there's some dark, but it's haunting songs that are probably my favorite songs on the album. You know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've been listening to all three, those first three albums all week, and that's the thing that I noticed. It was definitely a departure from the previous album.
Right.
Kill Uncle was the album that kind of leveled me. But like you said, it I don't want to call it heavier,
right?
But it's definitely, it's got a different tone, and in reading there's some specific reasons for that.
Yeah.
But I'll throw the whoops, wrong one. I'll throw the cover back up there. Cover. I guess it's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah.
it's the Morrissey album. It's his stuff. So why not put a picture of him up there? You know, it's so. This one was from taken at Nassau Coliseum in New York in '91 by Linder Sterling, and then they actually the scar, which you can barely see it, but apparently there's a scar on his stomach. He credited the scar on his stomach.
He credited it.
Yeah,
on his
stomach scar, courtesy Dayhome Hospital. So there must be a story behind the scar. I don't know if maybe he had his appendix out or something. I don't know what happened. Who knows?
It's Morrissey.
Yeah. Lost my train of thought.
What I was reading about him, man, he's had beefs with a ton of people. He's very outspoken.
Yeah.
And he's just one of these guys that just doesn't seem to care, right? He's just gonna say it, and it's his style, and he's gonna do it his way. I think is that why the Smiths broke up in the first place? Is it him and Johnny Marr? Yeah.
There was some disagreements, and the story I heard, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but how he broke the Smiths up, he just wrote it on a napkin, said, "I'm breaking the band up."
Wow.
And that was it.
Very Morrissey-esque.
left them a note on a freaking napkin. So it's like, this guy don't pull no punches.
No, he doesn't. I honest to God, I have not heard his other solo albums too much. I've heard some of the songs off of them, but this is the only one that I just gravitated to it, and I just loved it. It didn't make me want to go get his other solo albums. You know, it was, I think Suede Head, and I like some of the other songs that he came out with. But this is the only one that I would just put this on repeat and just repeat and repeat. I want to hear it again. I want to hear it again. And reading up on it this week, if people were commenting, which you should know more than I, that it's the one that sounds the most like the Smiths. I read that comment a few times, that it was more like a band sound than his other solo albums.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I can see it.
That's what I read. I don't I
Yeah.
couldn't know if that was true because I really haven't heard his other albums.
See, I heard like the other two albums I felt sounded more like the Smiths
Really?
than this album. I felt those two were the bridge to this album,
Okay.
and this was him, you know, throwing the chains off and saying, "I'm here." You know, this
Right.
is me. This is not the Smiths. This is me. You know,
Cool.
that's the
That's the
that
way
was my take on it.
that was your take, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I just maybe I said it wrong. It felt like this was more of a not just Morrissey, but with the band because I think some of the guys
Right.
that he made this album with, I read that he stayed with them or they stayed with him for a few years afterwards.
Oh yeah, yeah. Boz, the one
Mhm.
guitarist, is still with him.
Exactly. And the other guy was with him until like 2003 or something.
Yeah. Boz Boer, he's still with him, and Alan White. 2007.
2007. So they stayed together for a while.
Right. And White is the one that he did the most writing with.
Right.
And I guess he brought them in. They were the road, the touring band for the Kill Uncle tour.
Okay.
I guess he must have done the first two albums with session musicians, and then moved on. I guess it'd be worth looking at that real quick, see who the personnel was.
Yeah.
Mark Nevin, Mark Bedford. Nobody that I recognize. Mark Bedford was from Madness.
One Step Beyond. Really? From Madness?
Yeah.
Our house.
Yeah.
And One Step Beyond. Freaking love that.
Yeah, he was the bassist.
Wow. That was more ska, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you reading up on this? Did you read about the name of the album, Your Arsenal, the different meanings it might? One of the articles I read, they kind of mentioned it. It could mean different things, or they don't know exactly how he meant it.
Yeah. Where did I read that? Because they said it. Somebody said it was him making the joke. Your arse and all.
Yes, that's the one. That was like, dude, I never saw it that way. Oh my god! I was like, your arse and all. I was like, dude, that's classic.
I can't remember. Oh, Pitchfork. That's where I read it.
Pitchfork. That's the one. That's the one I read.
Yeah.
It was Pitchfork.
And I have I linked that in the description.
Cool.
So anybody watching this on the rewind wants to read that article, that it's linked in the description, as well as an article from All Music, which is one of the big ranking ones, and they gave it a 4.5 out of 5. You know, as far as their ranking, and there's a bunch of review scores tied to this one, and the majority of them give it outstanding.
It's a great rank. It's a great freaking album. It is so good.
Absolutely incredible.
I don't know if there's any song. There might be. There's really no songs to throw away, right? That are just
I didn't. I love every song on it.
I do as well. I think there's one I like less than others, but even that one's good, and that's it's not my favorite, but it's the National Front.
Yeah,
That
it's
one,
very political.
yes, it's very political, but that's the
Yeah.
only one that I'm not 100% crazy about, but it's still a good song.
Oh, it's a great song.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a statement, and it's how he was feeling most likely politically at the time. You know, 92, 91 into 92, that was a tough period.
Yes, it was.
I mean, world stage.
Yes, it was.
Oh,
there was a lot of. If we haven't gotten into the songs, man, but later on, it's hard to pick a favorite song on this album because there's so many good ones.
Yeah. I'm going to stop this and bring the Wikipedia one up.
I was interested. I was kind of not shocked, but that David Bowie covered one of this. So I went to listen to the David Bowie cover, and it was which song was it? I know it's gonna happen one day.
Yeah,
someday. And bro, Morrissey's version is so much better.
Okay, so speaking of David Bowie, the producer was none other than Mick Ronson, who has a huge connection to David Bowie. Not only producing albums, but playing. He was one of the Spiders, for lack of a better term. It was hello, Richard James.
What's up, Richard? Mine too.
It was oh crap, clicked on the wrong thing. It was released on my birthday.
Wow.
My 10th birthday, July 27th, 1992. Recorded February 92, Utopia, Primrose Hill, March 92 at the Wool Hall, Bath in England. And came out on HMV label, which I'm very unfamiliar with. And it had 5 singles, one of which was part of the 20th anniversary release, I'm believing. I'm thinking, and that's The Glamorous Glue. But yeah, that we'll get into the tracks. That freaking opener, dude.
It's rocking, right? So good.
So freaking solid.
It just sets the tone for the whole album, bro. But it's the rock.
Exactly what I was thinking. Exactly what I was
thinking. Man. It is so good, man. And then it just goes Glamorous Glue, and oh man, the song. I'm telling you, I've been listening to it all week, bro. I've been listening to it all week, and that's exactly
I've been listening to it on my Amazon device, on my phone, in the truck.
You wouldn't think the thing that's funny is I remember listening to this and I didn't look at it as it was a rockin' album, but then you listen this week, it's like, dude, that song's really good, man.
Yeah,
it's really good, it's rocking. And then the other ones where he just brings it down, and those songs are just they just blow. My God, I can't wait to hear what's your. I have a favorite song on here. I do have a favorite song. I don't know if you do, but I know mine. But yeah, you're gonna need someone on your side. That, you know what, and that back in '92, I felt like it was talking to me because I'm gonna need somebody on my side, you know. Uh, and I had people on my side, but sometimes you feel like you're all alone, you know, and you're really not. But I don't know. It was a dark place.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some darkness, but there's like
light.
You're the one for me, fatty. That's a hilarious title. I mean, so Morrissey, you know. It's like,
hey, it's on this album. It's "You're the One for Me, Fatty," and we hate it when our friends become successful. That is, both of those are so Morrissey, right?
yeah,
God, those two. It's like what, Girlfriend in a Coma, or you know, something like, you know, it's
right.
right around those lines. It's right around those lines, man. Freaking yeah. We hate it when, and then you look at, have you seen the video for it? It's just
No,
him.
I haven't.
It's him and the band. You know, we hate, and they're all doing like these almost choreographed kind of moves, and they're like all in these, I guess some old deserted buildings, and they're like crooning. He's like crooning, and he's got his shirt open, and I think it was a bright blue shirt, and then the contrast of where they're at, everything's like so colorless except for their shirts, and they're just, you know, they look rockabilly, you know, with the pompadour, the hair, and all that. It's another rocker though. It's another rocker.
Yeah, without a doubt.
What are you trying to figure out? What's your favorite song?
To be honest with you, we hate it when our friends become successful. It's probably top two. But I know it's going to happen someday. That's probably my favorite.
I know it's going to happen someday. That is probably my favorite. I'm torn between two, and they're probably the slowest ones, man. I know it's gonna happen. Certain people I know, and dude, seasick, yes, still docked.
Yeah, that is great.
God, bro, my God, that song, bro. I would just listen to that song endlessly. It's like Misery like loves company. I just felt, you know, and I would just listen to that, and dude, it's just, God. I remember, man. I was in a dark freaking place. I was in a dark freaking place, dude. And I thought all these songs were just talking to me. It was nuts. It was nuts. But I'm better now. Things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
You gotta go through the dark to come out in the light, and I still love them, and I still love them. I just not depressed anymore. Thank God, you know. I don't know. I think I'm rambling on, but it's
it did very well on the charts. UK, it made it all the way to 4, and on the Billboard 200, it peaked at 21. So, I mean, that's an incredibly successful album, I think.
I didn't know that. I knew it went up to 4 in the UK. I did not know it went that high in the Billboard.
Yeah,
that's surprising. Yeah, that's a total. Yeah, man, that's a success in my book.
And yet there's no certification, so it did very well, but it didn't sell enough units.
I got you. Were there any? You said there was 5 singles, right?
Yeah.
None of them really charted high or anything, did they? Or, I don't know if you can tell. Bro, I wish we could put some of these on and we wouldn't get banned or anything. God, to hear everyone here.
I think Stephen Patrick Morrissey would come in the chat and say, "Hey, shut that off."
Yeah, shut it off. What are you guys doing? What's up, Nerd Herd? All the way from the UK.
Hello.
Loving us some Morrissey. Have you ever seen him in concert?
Who, Morrissey? No.
I saw him once, and I don't know what album it was for. It was I think it was like early 2000s that I saw him. I don't know if he was even supporting an album, but I saw him in a small venue. It's called the James L. Knight Center down here. It's down on Miami Beach, small place, and I love How Soon Is Now. That How Soon Is Now was me in '92 as well. Yeah. I would go to the club and I would go home alone for the most part, all by myself, you know? That was me. But I'm thinking, oh, okay, man, I'm so excited. The show starts and it's Morrissey, like just a giant Morrissey in red. I remember it was just blazing, his last name. And then that went off and he came on. And he starts the show with How Soon Is Now. I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? That's the first song you're playing? You're not even building up to that? And bro, it's like he just wanted to sing it, get it out of the way, and then he could get on with the show.
Right.
You know, it's like, let me just give them what they want. I know that's what they want to hear. Boom, it's done. Okay, now I'm here. And he's just a straight, almost out of the Dean Martin, you know, Frank Sinatra, and he just starts very suave, and it was a great show, man. It was an excellent show. It's not what I was expecting, but I don't know what I was expecting, but looking back on it, that's what it was going to be the whole while. You know, I shouldn't have been surprised.
Right.
But
I was just looking here, and apparently 3 of the songs had respective influences from T-Rex.
I read that. Yeah, T-Rex, Bowie, I believe.
Yeah.
And some rockabilly, right?
This doesn't say it, but you can hear it.
You hear it. Is it certain people I believe it's certain people I know. That one's a lot of rockabilly.
Yeah.
Is it that one? I can't. You know what? I can't remember which one it is. I think it is. Oh my God, dude.
Okay,
we'll let you know. We'll let you know. Wow. For me, it's We'll Let You Know and Seasick Yet Still Dark. Those are freaking insane.
Yeah. AllMusic cites this as Morrissey's finest solo record and his best work since The Queen is Dead.
Okay. And you mentioned Rick Runson. He died pretty much right after this.
Yeah.
In '93. So he probably was sick while he was doing this. I would think. I read that he died of liver cancer.
Yeah, liver cancer.
Super young, too.
Yeah, 46, gone too soon.
Super young.
Like a shooting star, man. There you go. How Soon Is Now is a tune.
Bro, that song is It's perfection. It barely has any lyrics when you think about it. There's not too much to the lyrics, but they're so meaningful.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that was me in '92, man. This album and How Soon Is Now. So you go home, no, you go out and you stand and you want to die. Oh my God, I'm horrible with lyrics, but my God, I am the sun and the air. Oh, so good. So you go home and you cry and you want to die. Oh, so good, so good. It just made you feel like you weren't alone. Everything
Yeah.
that all the shit you go through when you're younger and you don't know who you are. You're finding yourself. This just makes I'm not alone. I'm not alone. This is normal. I just gotta get. I gotta get through it. I gotta get through it. You gotta find yourself. And I was a hopeless romantic. I was I was a hopeless romantic. I'm not anymore, but back then I was, and that probably made it worse. You know, when it's not turning out the way you think it's going to turn out.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping in there.
Thank you.
The All Music review, I was gonna pop this in there earlier and I forgot that I was gonna do it. Said that this was his bounce back from the lackluster Kill Uncle, which when I read that line, that kind of hurt me. we'll just let that go. It says a dynamic, invigorating infusion of glam rock and rockabilly, just as you said.
Yeah.
Your Arsenal rocks harder than any other record Morrissey ever made. Guitarist Alan White's riff swagger with a self-absorbed arrogance, and producer Mick Ronson gives the music a tough, stylish sheen. It may be a break from Morrissey's jangle pop, but the music is sharper than it has been since the Smiths.
Wow.
And I completely agree.
I do too.
Despite the fact that Kill Uncle is my preference.
Uh-huh.
I completely agree with that. I mean, you know, the overall tone, the sound, the production, the writing, it's just there. You know, it's just, like there's no arguing with it.
The thing is, I read articles like that said that, and it's like, okay, I see the rockabilly. Where's the glam rock? Where's that glam rock? And I do see it, but it's not as strong with me. I don't see it as strong with the glam rock.
I would compare, as far as glam rock, I would reach back into the early 70s with Martha Hoople and the Sweet, and you know, those types of bands. I can hear in the music,
right?
Too many times people associate glam rock with the stuff that was going on in the 80s, and I don't.
Yeah,
that's different. It's different.
That's different. That's different.
But
I'm glad you like this album, man. It's like when I said that, I meant that when I sent you the message, the Queen is dead, and you were like, okay, cool. I was like,
yeah. I mean, I was perfectly all right with Queen is Dead because I haven't listened to that one too much.
Yeah.
And it's been, oh my God, I'll bet you it's been a solid decade since I listened to Your Arsenal or any of these.
Yeah.
It just, I haven't had a need to. Plus I've been listening to other new music that I haven't heard before. But it's always nice to revisit.
Definitely. I'm glad I thought about it, because it just meant so much to me. And I'm not disappointed. I haven't heard it in years either. And I wasn't disappointed. And I've been listening to it all week. I even put it up on, I have my little portable speaker, and I've been cooking and listening to it. And I haven't got any complaints from the wife or my daughter or anybody. So I go, I guess this is okay. It's okay right now. So
we were listening on my way up to my sister's tonight. My daughter was in the backseat jamming.
Nice.
So that should tell you something.
That's very nice, man.
I thought he put her to sleep. She says, "No, I'm dancing." She says,
"It's a gem, right? It's a gem that most people have forgotten."
Yeah.
You never hear anybody bring up this album. Never. Not maybe like today. Hey, my favorite Morrissey solo album. Who was that? Richard James. But it's not something that comes to mind too often. It's truly not, and it's freaking amazing. Like, you hear Morrissey and everybody associates it with the Smiths, but they don't go to his solo stuff.
I can sing.
What are you doing?
My little speaker died, so I had to. That's the hazard, I guess.
It happens. It happens.
I should have just had it connected to that to begin with. I really don't have anything else.
No, I'll say. You know what? All I gotta say after this is I'm probably gonna be listening to this for the next week. Also, I'm not done listening to it.
Yeah,
I want to listen to it again. I want to end the show and I want to listen to it again. It's that good of an album, and you just let it play. Every song, they're in the perfect order. They just go into each other. It's an excellent album. It's an excellent album.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. The length of the titles.
Oh, I don't know this.
What is it with him and long freaking titles?
Oh, with
every goddamn one of them.
Yeah. except the number the 10th, tomorrow. Tomorrow is
that's
it. But even that song is great, man.
Yeah.
Even the last song on the disc is Tomorrow is a great song.
Talk about an album closer.
Wow, man. Dude, this is a gem that people just don't know. They just don't know. It's such a great album.
Yeah.
They're all good. There's not a dud in the whole album. There's no dud. One of my favorites. Oh, definitely.
There is a dud.
Oh, which one?
The final note. It's over. That's the dud.
Yeah, that's the dud. That's the dud.
How's this for a Morrissey image?
Yeah, man. That's the back cover, right?
Throwing the mic.
Yeah. He's an ego. He's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
He's
I
awesome.
watched an interview with him two years ago, or a year ago, and I think at that point that interview was 3 or 4 years old. Really, really good interview. I watched that interview, and then I watched an interview with Johnny Marr because I couldn't help myself. I had to.
Good.
They were both stellar interviews. I wish I could find them. Just have to do search and look for them. But
I'll do that.
Yeah, they were really good. I forget what question he was. There was a line of questioning that the interviewer started to proceed on with Morrissey, and he's like, I think we better stop that line.
Wow.
And I want to say it had something to do with past relations, but yeah, he didn't want to continue with that part of the conversation. He wasn't happy with that.
Good for him that he just puts it to a stop. A lot of people just don't do that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people being interviewed, that's all they really have to say, and hopefully, sometimes it doesn't, but they kind of keep on going, and it's like, dude, just tell the person and stop it there and all that, and you're not that's the end of it. You keep on going, and it's kind of like then it turns the tables, and you're the one that looks bad.
Yeah.
I wish more people would probably do that.
Yeah, I've seen some celebrity interviews that went that way.
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr. was one, and he was like, "Okay, we're done." He just gets up and leaves.
there's one with man, I can't remember. Oh, have you ever seen? You remember the MTV VJs? What was it? Mark Goodman. Mark Goodman was one of the VJs, right? He was the one with he looked with the hair, the black hair. I think he's still around. Have you ever seen him interview David Bowie, like for MTV, like in the early 80s? And David Bowie kind of starts calling him out on diversity on MTV and why they don't show more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That interview is a must watch for, you know what? That made me love David Bowie that much more, man. When I saw that interview, I was like, wow. And I just saw that recently. And my goodness, that's a must watch.
But I don't think I've seen the whole.
What was that?
I don't think I've seen the whole interview. I've seen that clip, but I don't think I've seen the whole interview.
Watch the interview, man. When it gets to that point, it's that interview just goes off, and you could just feel the tension in the air, man. And David Bowie just handles it so well. He was putting Mark Goodman on the spot, right? And poor Mark Goodman, it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
He was just there for MTV. He was actually calling out MTV. But David Bowie, when Mark Goodman started stuttering and didn't know exactly the right words, what a gentleman David Bowie is, bro. Or he was, man. Because he just handled it. He didn't. He made his point. He made his point, and he knew when to stop, and he didn't keep pushing it. And everybody knew what he meant. And it's a must-watch interview. I'm sorry I brought that up, but I just saw that recently. I never knew about it. But must watch. Yeah. So good. Have you thought about what album you want to do next?
I've been thinking about what I wanted to do, but we're rounding the corner to Christmas, and I didn't know what I wanted to do that close.
I got you.
You know what I mean? We got time. But one that I've been thinking about is the Doors' first album.
Excellent.
I also wanted to reach out to Stay Puft.
Nice.
Get him on. Like I said, that's the weekend before Christmas, so it's like
people are busy.
How do I want to proceed with that? And I don't want to, because around that time people start having their family gatherings and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I mean, even though in a COVID world we're not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do it maybe we'll go. Maybe the next show will be for the new year. Then I think that might be a good job. A good. Because I think I might be going to a party myself, and it's not cool. It's COVID, but I think that night I think I might not be available. Now that you say it. Okay. Hey, no road trips. Don't go see family. What do me and my wife do? We take a road trip up to New York. I guess it's a little bit of the rebel. It's the little rebel in me. But we did take precautions, and thank God everything is fine. But yeah, it's a little rebel. My wife always says you're a little bit of a rebel, and I'm like, not really, man. I'm really not. But then I guess I am, somewhat. It's funny.
So yeah, I don't. I guess I'll have to think about what I want to do. Maybe we'll just postpone it and
maybe for the new year. Puff will be a great guest. Puff will be a great guest.
Yeah.
He had a I don't know if he caught it. He had his funk hour. He did a funk show yesterday, and he had a nice panel, and they were all talking about the funk music and early rap and everything. It was really good.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Did you watch the panel he was on with the
discussion?
The comic book? What's that?
Yeah, the discussion, the comic book.
Yeah, the comic shop discussion.
Yeah, I think they're on now. Actually, I think they're on now. I saw that's what I was looking at before we went live. Yeah, the rant that. Yeah, it was great. It was great, man.
Yeah, I left a comment. I said, "Dude, that was spot on. You said everything that everybody's thinking."
It was spot on. But you know what was the best part of that? Dusty, State Puffs, and the other guy's reaction after the rant. That was the best part. That was the best part.
Dusty was like, "Don't you ever do that again."
Bro, it was the best part, man. That was the best part. Is their reaction to him, man. It was so good. But yeah, he was spot on. He was spot on. You know what's another one? We're kind of getting off topic, but DS's video. I don't know if you saw that.
I still got I went into. I was gonna watch it, and the damn thing wasn't processed yet, or something, because I wanted to add it to my. So I waited till this morning, and I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably try to watch that tomorrow or something.
You need to watch that. That's probably one of the best. Dude, that might be one of the best videos of the year, man. DS, he was preaching. He was preaching, and he was.
Sorry, I missed it live. I got on there, and I was like within 5 minutes of him ending the stream, and I was like, damn it.
Hey, I was only there maybe a few minutes before you, and I just caught the tail end, and I had to go back and watch it. But just I was getting the gist of it when I did jump in, and I was like, oh boy, this is good. This is good. Yeah. But I got in, and I think I saw it yesterday. The whole thing, man, great. If anybody hasn't seen that, DS Comics, great rant. But man, pretty much I'm in agreement with everything he said. It was very good, man. DS and well said. He said it a lot better than I could ever, man. It was funny. It was great. It was great.
I guess we better wrap it up.
Yeah, we're at an hour. We're almost talking backstage right now.
Yeah, pretty much. You got anything coming up on your channel?
I think this upcoming week is going to be pretty. I got the Johnson show where we talk sports on Monday, but other than that, I think. I'm going to be on with JP. We're going to end our review of East of West, the final 2 trades. We're doing that Monday night, I believe, at 9 on JP's channel. But that's about it. I got a quiet week coming up.
I got tomorrow morning. I got my Sunday morning live.
Nice.
Got some books I want to show, and I'm gonna talk about maybe selling some books, maybe doing some sales.
Nice.
On my channel. So
nice.
Nothing extravagant. Posting books on Instagram and dollar sales, because I'm not a grader. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna put books up there that I don't feel comfortable, exactly knowing what the actual grades are. So dollar books they are.
You Why are you selling? You just want to make some room, or just move some?
Yeah, make some room. I got two long boxes full that I just don't have room for.
Yeah.
And I got this one box back here, and you can't see it, but that's that Airboy that I got off of Kenny.
Okay.
And I don't have a box to put it in.
Yeah, you're gonna feel good once you sell it, man. It's not a bad thing. It sounds harder. It took me forever to do that, but now I almost relish it. It's like I see things going on. And it's like, man, I've read these books 30 years ago, and now they're starting to move, and it's like it's good. I see it. The space, it's nice. We are hoarders. We are hoarders.
Yeah.
You gotta keep it under control. So good for you, man.
So, I guess thanks to everybody who joined us in the chat tonight, and everybody who catches on the rewind. Definitely do yourself a favor, even if you've never heard it, or if that style is not your flavor. Just give it a spin, and give it a couple spins, because things don't click the first time around always. Your Arsenal,
amazing.
Great album, great artist, great writer, and definitely check it out. I'm going to end it on picture. I'm assuming is someone in his family. I don't know. I don't get it, but I'm going to make it big.
God, I haven't seen that in a long time. Wow. Peace.
Get out there and listen to some music.